The 2024 season was over for a while now, but I'm back from my sabbatical. So let's do the 2024 driver ranking from 23rd to 1st. Let's get started. The 2024 season was very interesting. I think it was very enjoyable, best probably season for a while, or maybe like the last 10 years. And I'm excited to see what happens in 2025. I'm just going to quickly speak about how the ranking works because I did not do that last time I did the mid-season and people kind of went at me because I didn't understand why. Okay, so in qualifying, race, sprint race, and sprint qualifying, you get a ranking from 1 to 10. Sorry, not from 10, 1 to 20, you are ranked. And if you are first, then you get it's about an average. Okay, so if you go from qualifying to race and you are second and then 10th in that ranking, you get a average of 6. 6 is the score that you get, and that's how I determine where you are. If you crash, you get a 25 because that's very bad, and if you set no time in qualifying, you are lost automatically. So that is how it works. So that's why some of the stuff are a bit more chaotic. And if you think I need to retweak this after seeing where I put the people, let me know because some of the people I don't believe should be there. But this is not non-bias and just with performance based, nothing else. No bad driving included, like strategy wise, just pure driving pace and how they performed this year. So with that out of the way, please let's start with our last place. It's going to be an honorable mention because Jack Doohan, he only did one race, and I believe you can only do minimum of 3 races to get into this because our average wise it's not going to make sense. Let's say he was in here, then he would have been, let's see, he would have probably been 19th or 19th. So I did not include that, but now you know where he would have been probably. Jack Doohan didn't do too bad of a job, but he didn't also do the best job, just stayed out of trouble for the losses of the year. So, okay, now last spot of the people that actually did the ratings. Last spot is Logan Sargent. I really understand why they dropped him. He was not doing good at all. He sucked for the most of the season and he really didn't perform against Albon at all. He jumped 3 places from my mid-season. He went from 20th to 23rd, and his average, let's see if it went better or worse. Sorry, it actually went worse, so that's not good. And he didn't do much, and if he did more, he probably have had a worse score because he did not improve at the slightest. 22nd and second from last is going to be Sergio Perez. There's not much I can say anymore from Perez. I did say in the mid-season he should be changed mid-season, and that would have probably helped Red Bull a lot in the constructors because he did not do very good at the end of the year. Probably his worst performance in the last 4 or 5 races. That is something I would stand by because he did not do a very good job. He also jumped 3 places from my mid-season with some drivers coming in for just a few races. It's hard to see why he also jumped 3, but he actually did a better second half in my opinion because his average score is better than it was in the first half, which is weird, but it's just how it is. 21st is going to be Lance Stroll. He jumped 4 positions from a mid-season because he actually had a few decent races before the half point, but he just went downhill afterwards, not doing too good of a job against Fernando Alonso, which is a hard job, I get that, but the way he did it, it's not very good. He did not do a good job at all, and I don't understand why he's still in that car, even though his father owns the company, and his father would do anything for him, that's true, but come on. You have to draw a line somewhere, and he's not performing very good. If Aston Martin want to be a serious contender, like I say every single time, they need to get someone else. And Yuki did not get that Red Bull seat, so he's probably still available next year. Hopefully they do that. P20 is going to be Zhao Guanyu. He only went up 2 positions, overtaking Shaw in the standings with a very good few last races, scoring points in Qatar. Very good. I'm very impressed with that. And yeah, I think he had a decent end of the year, but the rest was not good. The amount of times he qualified last, that's probably why he's so low. In the races, it's hard to say with the car he had how good he was. So he is P20, and I understand why Sauber left Zhao on the table without taking another year, even though he brings a lot of money. I get why he did that because he was not performing. P19, I'm surprised with this one. It's going to be Esteban Ocon, jumped 4 positions from a mid-season driver ranking. So I'm not sure why he's this low. I'm a big fan of Gasly, but I don't dislike Ocon. So, and I think it's weird because he had a very good race in Brazil, and that's all the only good race I can think of. So probably with the average with the qualifying, maybe, I don't know. Qualifying is very important. You will see later in this video how important this is. And he had a decent year, but I understand why Alpine left him because he did not do a good job there and got a few controversies with Gasly. So yeah, he is in 19th. 18th place is Ricciardo. He jumped Ocon from the mid-season to this time of the year, which is weird because he did not drive the last few races. So, do I think he should have been replaced? At that point, I think it was a good idea, but looking back at it now, he could have probably finished the rest of the season. Should he got that seat in the first place? No, but I think he could have just finished it. The way they handled it was very awful. I felt very bad for him. Even though I like Lawson a lot, I think it's up to him about how they did it, but it's just a sour taste after what happened. 17th place is going to be Colapinto, and of course he was not here in my mid-season, so he just started 17th. He actually had a very good few first races. Very, very good. The last few, not so much. Like when I told you with the if you crash in the qualifying on a race, you get a 25 instead of the full 20 from first to 20th. This is what that impact can make, because if he did not crash maybe twice of those times, he would have been probably in the top 10. But that last few performances was not good from Colapinto, and that's probably why Red Bull didn't come knocking, and Williams are not going to replace the other drivers for this because they got 2 incredible drivers on their payroll next year. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to Colapinto in the future. If he'll get that car up, maybe replacing Albon if he does not perform against Sainz. Very interesting to see what happens there. 16th is going to be Kevin Magnussen, jumping up 3 places. He actually had a very decent end of year performance. I think he is the only driver that has exactly the same score from the mid-season to this. So he had an up and down here, some very poor performances like Miami, and some very good performances like Brazil. No, not Brazil. He was not in Brazil. That's very odd. Qatar was very good, I think, and Las Vegas. So it's sad to see Magnussen go. I'm excited to see him drive for Cadillac or BMW in WEC. So very happy to see he's still got a job there. 15th place, and this driver I don't believe should be here. I'm not sure how my average got him here. Yuki Tsunoda jumped 7 positions from 8th till 17th, 15th in my end of year driver ranking. I don't know why. I think he actually did a very good job. So maybe because Lawson, I don't know. I'm not sure why he is 15. And I did everything right. I did check again. So he had a very good season. I think he was probably better than Lawson and Ricciardo. But with my averages, P15, sad to see him here. I think he should have got that Red Bull call up. I'm not Lawson, and we will see who's next to him next year. I think it's going to be Hadjar, but it's very interesting to see. He should not be 15th. 14th is going to be Lewis Hamilton. Now, he is supposed to be here. I got a lot of slack about that Hamilton placement, putting him 10th. Now he's 14th. Yeah, he did not have a good end of the year. Qualifying is just as important in my averages, and his qualifying was horrendous. His race pace was very good, and that helped him a lot. He was a few times my number one driver in the race, but like my 18th, 17th, or 16th driver in the qualifying. Average pace, that will give you like an average of 9, 8, or 10, and his average was over the whole season at 10.64. And he went off from the mid-season to the end of season. So please, Hamilton fans, don't kill me. I still think he's a good driver, but this year was not good. It was not his best year. P13 is going to be Valtteri Bottas. We to see Valtteri Bottas so high up here. I know he jumped one position up, but he actually had a good pace in that car. If you look at Zhou, it's hard to say how good he actually was, but he was outperforming and out-qualifying Bottas a lot. And he didn't get any scores or any points, and his last race was horrendous. That's definitely. But it's hard to say with these types of drivers with the cars. You can't really measure. So Bottas is P13. I think that's okay. Yeah. P12 is going to be Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson. So I forgot to mention, if you're a rookie with 5 to 10 races under the belt, before you get 5 to 10 races in the belt, you get a little bit of slack in qualifying, like 0.2 seconds, because that is how it actually should be in the first 5 races, and in the second half of that 5 races, you get 0.1 slack. Now, Lawson had some experience last year, but I still think he did not have that full 10 races, even though he did a year. I'm not sure, would you call it that? So Lawson is 12. It's still a good performance. Next to Verstappen, we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Perez next to Verstappen. Probably a good learning curve for him in that car. So we'll see. I really hope Lawson does good in that Red Bull, and he doesn't fall like Gasly did when he got that quick jump up, and hopefully they don't. I think that this is probably going to happen, but if he doesn't perform, they're going to put Yuki in that car, and that's just going to look dumb, really. Any case, P11 is Oscar Piastri. Please don't kill me again, because he did not have a good few races, and it's very close between like 11th to 5. It's like super close, probably not 1 point in difference. It's like 6 drivers in the 9 average. Between 9 and 10 is average, and it's very close. Qualifying, he has not been the best. Very close to Norris, but not as good as Norris. And in the races, he's had a few very rough ones in the last 5 or 6 races, especially the last race, crashing into Colapinto. He had a massive jump from almost a full 1 average from the mid-season to the end of season. That 2 wins he had was incredible, especially the Baku one. But I still think it's his second year. Not in the top 10 now. It's pretty good. He was 7th in my mid-season. Some drivers just did better in my opinion. And don't come at me. It's just my opinion. Oscar Piastri is 11th. Jumping into the top 10 with 10th place, Ollie Behrman. With Piastri and Hamilton, just want you to remember there are some drivers that have fewer races, and that's why they're probably lower. So just remember that, like Ollie Behrman. P10, really good 3 races. His first 2 was incredible, Ferrari, then with Haas, and then his last race with Haas was not as good. But it's his first time driving in the rain. You have to give him some slack. He didn't crash in the race and DNF'd, but he kept it on the track for most of it. Did better than his teammate, and he outqualified Hulkenberg twice. That is some crazy feats in your second and third race. Just saying that, because Hulkenberg is a very good qualifier. Let's go on. 9th place, Fernando Alonso, going 2 places down from our mid-season, from 11th to 9th. I think, yeah, he had a much better end of season. Stroll really sucked. That's not his fault, but yeah, he did not do a very good job in few races. So hard to say that Aston Martin quite fell down a surprising amounts, but he did a very good job. And I think ninth and in the top 10 is very nice for Alonso. Eighth place is Alexander Albon. Very surprised that he's this high, but it surely has to do with his qualifying performance against Sargent and his race performance, because when Colapinto got in that car, I'm pretty sure his averages dropped a big amount, because Colapinto actually, in the first 3 or 4 races when Colapinto was there, showed that he's here to stay, and my confidence in Albon just dropped a little bit. So we'll probably see what happens next year with Sainz. I really hope he has some kind of fight next to him, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Seventh place is going to be his future teammate Carlos Sainz. Very good season for Carlos Sainz. I think he did the maximum he could in that car. His win in Melbourne was amazing, but not as amazing as his Mexico race, because that was very, very impressive. Taking it to max and winning is very nice. He had some very good performances where he did not take the win, sometimes being better than Leclerc, and that's something good in itself. I really hope he can do some miracles in a Williams. It would be so cool to see him on the podium, or even a win. A championship would be crazy. But yeah, can't wait to see how Sainz does in the Williams, because he did a very good job this year. Sixth place is going to be Nico Hülkenberg. Now he jumped 1 place up. He was on my fifth. Now he's sixth. Hülkenberg had a very good season. The end dropped off a little bit. He also had a 0.6 average jump up, so he got worse in the second part of the season. I wouldn't say he was bad, but he was not as good as his first half, because that streak from Austria, Silverstone, and I'm not sure what the race after Silverstone was. That was impressive, and that was his high, and it's so close between him and the guy in front of him. Like, it's so close. Yes, a 0.03 difference, like it was in the standings. But Hulkenberg, very impressive. I really hope Stake is better next year, because I really don't want to see Hulkenberg jumbling around in the background next year. P5 is going to be Pierre Gasly with the biggest jump up, 7 positions. He was 12th in my mid-season and he's 5th now. Gasly's end of year performance was crazy this year. I am a Gasly fan, but this is a non-biased performance rating, because I did not take anything into account of who I like more. If it was, he would have probably been first. But Gasly did a very good season. Well, I wouldn't say season. He did a very good second half of the season. I think Ocon was still a better driver between them two before Monaco. I think Monaco was where the tables turned a bit. But since they got their upgrade, when was it? Baku? He's been performing very well. Brazil was very cool, was very good. I think over that whole weekend, Gasly was better, but in the race, I think Ocon was better. And since then, Gasly was on a streak. I think he would have probably gotten even more points if it wasn't for that Las Vegas. He could have been on a podium there. I was so mad about that Las Vegas race. I wanted to turn off the TV. He qualified third in Alpine. That's amazing. In a dry session. So just remember that. It's not the fanboy in me that put in P5. It was the average, I promise you. So let's go on to our fourth driver. And from fourth to first, all of them stayed the same. But it's going to be George Russell. Now, Russell had a very good season. He actually did better for me in the second half, outperforming Lewis a lot, especially in the qualifying. That win in Vegas was very dominant. I think it's one of his best displays. And his last race wasn't that good. I think Hamilton had the edge, but his qualifying, that's where it changed. I think that Mr. Saturday thing, I forgot about that actually. But it's good to see him back at better places, because last year he did not do very good. Hamilton was definitely the better driver of the two. Is it because Hamilton doesn't care as much anymore, or he's leaving for Ferrari now? Red Bull, or not Red Bull, Mercedes are not helping Hamilton anymore. I'm not saying sabotage, but that could be. We'll never know. I can only rank on what I see. So Russell is fourth. Our third place, bronze podium, whatever you want to call it, is going to be Charles Leclerc. Very, very close between the fourth, third, and second. But Charles Leclerc is third for me. A very good year. Wish from Canada to whenever they had that problem, it would have been so cool to see him fight Max. I think he would have given a better overall performance than Norris in the title fights. But Leclerc had a very, very good season, and I'm so excited for next year to see him next to Hamilton and see them two fight for the championship next against McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull. We'll see how that goes, but I'm very excited to see that. My runner-up, just like in the season, is Lando Norris. He's not even close to Max in my averages as well, but he had a very good season. He jumped off. His first half of the season was actually better for me than his second half, so that's why he's probably still second. But hey, it's close, but it's not that close. Norris, his confidence is growing. He had some very good performances in like Singapore and some poor ones like Brazil. Very bad at his Brazil performance, but hey, what can you do? Next year's going to be very interesting. So we'll see what happens. And of course, first place is going to be Max Verstappen. It's not even close. He has an average of 5. The rest is probably 7, 8. So what can you do, hey? Next year, probably Norris is here. Maybe Piastri's. We'll see. But Verstappen was dominant this year. Even though he didn't have the fastest car, it's good to see he did well. So I'm very glad for Verstappen. I'm not mad that he won it. He had competition and he was the better driver. Very excited for next year. It's going to be very interesting. Now let's look at some stats. My worst position lost between the mid-season to the new one was Tsunoda with 7 places. That's very weird for me. My best position game was Gasly. My best average game was Gasly as well, with a 1.6 average difference in the mid-season to end of season. And my worst average game was actually Stroll with a 1.5 average loss. So if I can change something, I would definitely put Tsunoda probably 10th ahead of Lawson. That's the only one I think that's a bit wrong. But let me know, should I tweak my system a bit? Because that was a bit harsh for Tsunoda. I'm not sure why he's that high, and I can't figure it out. I did check. I think it's that one race he crashed in qualifying and he didn't start the race. That's only an average of 25. That probably put him on the edge. Without that, he could have probably been P8. So maybe it's that. Let me know if I should do that. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to be back from my sabbatical now and do my reaction videos to all the predictions I made. And my What If series is going to be coming back now. Just took some time for me and work, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this channel. So if you're excited for that, please like and subscribe. Let me know what I did wrong, if I should change the system a bit. And yeah, please keep it friendly. It's only my opinion, and it's not really my opinion, it's my average base. So yeah, enjoy your day and enjoy your summer break. Cheers.